Boker Tov, we are in Megilat Esther, the start of the 6th Perek. So what we're up to is that Haman sees that Mordechai doesn't bow down to him. He gets very, very upset. His wife advises him to build the gallows 50 amot, and she says, go early in the morning to Achashverosh to tell him that what your plan is. You want to kill Mordechai, so that you'll go to the party later that day with a good heart. And he was happy with that idea. But that night is the miraculous night that Achashverosh couldn't sleep. And that's what Rashi tells us, that this is a miracle that, sometimes we don't sleep in the middle of the night. And, but Davka that night, he's not sleeping. We'll see what happens. Balaylahu, that night, Nadeda Shenat HaMelech. The sleep of the king was mitnadned. He was teeter-tottering. Wasn't able to sleep. Vayomer, and he said to the people there, the servants, Lehavi et Sefer HaZichronot Divrei Yamim, to bring the book of remembrances, the words of the days, which is the chronicles of what happened. And the Gaon of Vilna points out, Sefer HaZichronot is Zikaron, is to remember. It's the short version. There is Divrei Yamim, which is, I guess he had scribes writing the entire history of what was going on. And there was the short version also, the point form. Bring that. I'm going to see why. And it was called out and read in front of the king. So Rashi also tells us, before we get into the Gaon of Vilna, Rashi tells us that, again, Achashverosh was wondering the whole time why Esther is inviting Haman to this as well. If Esther wants to talk to me, why is Haman involved? And this is going on in his mind. Also, Rashi tells us that when people can't fall asleep, if they read something, they sometimes fall asleep. Or he says here that kings, they would ask their workers or whatever to read stories for them, and that would cause them to fall asleep. But here, because his mind was on Haman and Esther, and Rashi says is the following: if Haman and Esther want to tell me something, then someone else maybe in my kingdom also know what they want to tell me. And I want to find out. I'm very curious what they want to say to me. And therefore, why is nobody else coming to me to tell me what's going on? And if no one else is coming to me to tell me what's going on, it must mean that maybe I wronged someone, and therefore that person doesn't want to tell me. So let me look through my chronicles and see maybe I owe someone a favor, and I didn't pay them back, and that's why they maybe know something about me and they didn't tell me yet. And that's why he finds out that he owes Mordechai a favor. The Gaon of Vilna has a beautiful explanation here, and he says as follows. He makes a whole calculation about what was going on in Achashverosh's mind. And he says, Esther put her life in limbo. Masra Nafsha, coming at a time she wasn't announced. If he says, hey, the rule was if you come unannounced to the king, it can be death penalty. So Esther comes unannounced. So it must be that she's coming to ask for someone else. Why? Because she's a queen. She has everything. She's nothing. She's not lacking anything. It must be that she's asking for someone else. And who is this someone else? I don't know who her nation is, but the one person I do know that's connected to her is that she grew up in Mordechai's house. That the Gaon of Vilna says, even though Mordechai everybody knew he was a Jew, but he didn't put it together. He didn't necessarily say that or know that she was a Jew. So he says like this: I know that she grew up in Mordechai's house. So maybe she's coming to ask about Mordechai. And why is Haman in the picture? So maybe Haman and Mordechai are also friends. And we knew that Haman was Mordechai's Eved. So now he's saying, okay, maybe it's something that they're coming to ask for Mordechai. And if they want to ask something so big because she put herself on the line for it, then I don't want to give away something big to this person, Mordechai. Maybe, so maybe if you give something to someone, maybe it's because they did a good deed for me. So let me look and see if Mordechai indeed did a good deed to me. And I'll just tell them, look, it was a small deed. But what happened was he opened it up and he saw that he actually saved Achashverosh's life. So it could be, it's a big deed. And therefore, that night we're going to see, he wants to just get rid of the deed fast by saying, okay, let him ride on my horse, etc. Mordechai yatzah lifnei hamelech, and as opposed to doing what Esther wanted. So that's in a synopsis as to what's going on in Achashverosh's mind according to Rashi and according to the Gaon Mizona. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Chananya, ורק אשר אומר יצא הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות לפיכך בעולם תנוסו שנאמר אדון חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר